Hi, everybody. Okay, so the last time we did math, we took a look at explicit patterns. The idea that I could give you a table of values that let you know that the x and the y, what the x and the y coordinates are. And then from there, you were able to find the common difference and then move along and find the explicit algebraic pattern rule. Now, today, what we're going to do is we're going to practice identifying those pattern rules from given visual patterns as well as graphed patterns. So take a look. Okay, so here I have two visual patterns. Now, the way that you find out what the pattern rule is fairly easy. When I give you a pattern, the first thing that you should do is make a table of values. So here's my table of values. This is going to be x and this is going to be y. We know that x is always the term number. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we know that y is always the value. So it's the amount of shapes within or the amount of whatever it is that we're looking for. So 1 for 1, 3 cubes for 2, 5 cubes for 3, and 7 cubes for 4. Now to find the explicit pattern, I find my common difference. My common difference is 2. 2 becomes my coefficient, so it becomes 2x, and then it is minus 1, because 1 times 2 is 2, minus 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, minus 1 is 5, etc., etc. This becomes my explicit pattern rule, and I generated that by looking at the pattern. The next pattern, I do the exact same thing. I create my table of values, 1, 2, 3, 4. I label my x and my y. 1 is 1, 2 is 4, 3 is 7, and 4 is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I identify my common difference, which is 3. Okay, 3 becomes my coefficient, so 3x. So 1 times 3 is 3 minus 2 equals 1. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 2 equals 4. 3 times 3 is 9 minus 2 equals 7. Therefore, my explicit pattern rule is 3x minus 2. So this is how you would do it for these patterns. However, I may give you one day where you're not necessarily looking at the amount of blocks or squares, but maybe what you're doing is taking a look at the perimeter. So number 1 would be 4. Number 2 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and etc. So make sure you read the instructions carefully. So what do I do if I have a graph? Well, you do the exact same thing. I take a look at my coordinate pairs, okay? When I graph a pattern, again, I have to make my table of values. I've got my x and y. And when you have a coordinate pair, surprise, surprise, you have an x and a y. This is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. So you list your coordinate pairs. So 1 on the x is negative 1 on the y. So 1 is negative 1. Then 2 is 2. And the third point that I've given you, 3 is 5. So then between negative 1, 2, and 5, what's my common difference? Well, my common difference is still 3. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. So there I've found my coefficient is going to be 3 with my variable 3x. Okay? So 2 times 3 is 6 minus 4 gives me 2. 3 times 3 is 9 minus 4 gives me 5. So my algebraic expression, my explicit pattern is 3x minus 4. And I do that by taking each of my points and putting it in the x and y. So each of these is a coordinate pair on my grid. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, I make my table of values, X and Y. Except let's look very closely here. If I look very closely, I can tell that my grid is going up by 2s. But that, if something is in the middle, that can be the one up. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but let's take a look. I could also do 0. 0 is at -2. Then I go 1. 1 is at 1. 2 is at 3. 3 is hitting the line approximately at 5. Yeah, 5. And 4 is hitting at 7. So I take a look and I go 1 to 3 is +2, 3 to 5 is +2. So I know my common difference is 2. 2 becomes my coefficient, so it's 2x and then something. Well, 1 times 2 is 2, minus 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3. So my explicit pattern rule using my coordinate pairs is 2x minus 1. Now I did say that 0 on the x would be -1. Let's see if that works because I have that point here. 2x is 2 times 0 minus 1 is -1. So that would stay true. This is what's called graphing functions. You will get into this a lot in the higher grades. But just know now how to create your table of values, how to know what your common difference is so that it becomes your coefficient, and then how to find your constant by either adding or subtracting. So today, you're going to practice graphing patterns and finding the explicit pattern rule, as well as visual patterns. Have a great day. Good luck, guys.